Welcome to our US Briefing Show. Today, we're diving into the wild world of AI in China, where universities are trying to catch cheating with detection tools that experts say are more like superstition than science. These tools often mistake human work for AI, leading some schools to ditch them altogether and focus on real thinking and originality instead. It's a big shift towards trusting human judgment over tech paranoia. Next up, the battle over Chaco Canyon. The Trump administration is reconsidering a 20-year-old ban on oil drilling near this sacred site, sparking protests from tribes and legal battles from the Navajo Nation. While energy development is a priority for some, others fight to preserve cultural and environmental treasures. The political tug-of-war continues as Biden's protections face resistance. And don't miss the explosive rivalry between Trump and Elon Musk. Once allies, now enemies, they're trading threats and insults, risking their legacies in a high-stakes game of mutual destruction. From supporting impeachment to threatening business contracts, their feud could reshape the political and business landscape. Stay tuned as this drama unfolds. The South China Morning Post vividly illustrates the ongoing controversy surrounding AI-generated content in China's academic landscape. Universities are implementing strict regulations, such as setting an AI rate in theses, to curb academic misconduct fueled by the rapid proliferation of generative AI tools like ChatGPT. Despite these efforts, the Ministry of Science and Technology has dismissed AI content detectors as superstition tech, emphasizing their unreliability. These detectors, which analyze text for patterns and quirks, often produce false positives, wrongly flagging human-authored work, sometimes even classic Chinese essays from a century ago, as AI-generated. Studies reveal that these tools are far from foolproof, with some AI-generated text slipping through undetected and others being wrongly accused, leading to controversy and mistrust within academia. The editorial advocates for valuing genuine human creativity and critical thinking over superficial detection, emphasizing that educators should focus on the quality and originality of ideas rather than relying solely on flawed AI detection tools. The Yahoo US article on the Chaco region presents a compelling narrative of cultural reverence clashing with federal energy policies under the Trump administration. The Bureau of Land Management is reconsidering a protective rule that bars oil and gas drilling within a 10-mile radius of the sacred Chaco Culture National Historical Park, a move driven by the administration's push to boost domestic energy production. Indigenous tribes, like the All Pueblo Council of Governors and the Navajo Nation, fiercely oppose this rollback, citing the spiritual significance of Chaco and the potential economic harm from losing mineral rights. The Navajo Nation has even filed a lawsuit, arguing that the federal government failed to consider their proposed compromise of a smaller, 5-mile withdrawal zone. The tension underscores a broader conflict, the government's desire to revitalize energy independence versus the tribe's urgent need to protect their sacred sites and sustain their communities' economies. As tribal leaders express frustration over perceived dismissiveness, the narrative highlights the ongoing struggle to balance economic development with cultural preservation. The Yahoo US report on the upcoming Western Governors Association meeting in Santa Fe paints a vivid picture of political juxtaposition, where traditional New Mexico charm meets high-stakes federal-state negotiations. For Trump administration officials, including Interior Secretary Doug Burgum and EPA Administrator Lee Zeldin, are set to join 7 Western governors, among them Democrat Michelle Lujan Grisham, in a gathering that promises lively discussions on pressing issues like wildfire response, housing shortages, and outdoor recreation. This event marks a rare convergence of bipartisan leadership amid the political landscape, with representatives from both parties seeking common ground despite ideological differences. Santa Fe's historic allure as a hub for political dialogue is on display, contrasting its artistic and cultural reputation with the serious policy debates unfolding within its elegant venues. The meeting underscores the ongoing efforts to foster collaboration across party lines, even as federal policies and local priorities sometimes clash, reflecting the complex dance of governance in a deeply divided nation. Nikkei Asia reports a dramatic turn in the case of Kilmar Abrego Garcia, a Salvadoran man mistakenly deported from Maryland to El Salvador, only to be flown back to the United States to face serious criminal charges. The Trump administration's decision to repatriate Garcia, despite a prior immigration judge's order preventing his deportation due to fears of gang persecution, has ignited fierce debate over civil liberties and immigration enforcement practices. Federal prosecutors allege that Garcia was involved in a large-scale smuggling ring, working with multiple co-conspirators to transport undocumented immigrants across the U.S., and even transporting firearms and drugs, with tragic consequences such as a deadly truck accident in Mexico. His lawyers dismissed the charges as exaggerated, but the case underscores the administration's aggressive stance on immigration, exemplified by the controversial return of Garcia and the administration's claims linking him to MS-13. The legal and political fallout continues, with questions raised about whether government agencies followed proper procedures, and debates over the implications for civil rights and the rule of law in immigration enforcement. South China Morning Post sheds light on the cautious optimism and persistent tensions in Asia following a rare, seemingly positive phone call between U.S. President Donald Trump and Chinese President Xi Jinping. The 90-minute discussion, which did not resolve major contentious issues like technology and resource control, temporarily eased regional anxieties, especially for countries like South Korea and Southeast Asian nations, caught in the middle of U.S.-China rivalry. While the call was seen as a tentative step back from the brink, analysts warned that the underlying relationship remains fragile, with both powers continuing to pursue strategic interests that threaten regional stability. Countries in Southeast Asia are navigating an increasingly complex landscape, balancing trade dependencies with China against security alliances with the U.S., amid ongoing tariffs, trade restrictions, and scrutiny over transshipment routes. Leaders like Vietnam and South Korea face tough choices, trying to hedge their bets without alienating either superpower, as the global rivalry persists in shaping economic and security policies across the region. The Australian Broadcasting Corporation vividly depicts the tumultuous relationship between Donald Trump and Elon Musk, portraying it as a high-stakes duel of power and influence. Once close allies, their alliance has unraveled into a bitter feud, with each wielding significant personal and political leverage against the other. Musk's unpredictable behavior, including erratic public displays and allegations of drug use, has tarnished his reputation and strained his ties to Trump. Conversely, Trump's ability to leverage government agencies and regulatory powers makes Musk vulnerable, especially as Trump threatens to revoke lucrative contracts and scrutinize Musk's business interests. The narrative emphasizes that both men possess intimate knowledge of each other's vulnerabilities, familial, personal, and financial, raising the specter of mutual destruction if their conflict escalates further, illustrating a modern-day Shakespearean tragedy of raw power and ego. Yahoo US highlights the controversy surrounding offshore oil drilling along the U.S. coastline, especially in Florida, where public opposition is fierce despite federal efforts to open these waters. The state constitution's protections within 3 miles of the coast contrast sharply with federal plans to exploit waters beyond that boundary, sparking outrage among residents and visitors who cherish the region's natural beauty and fear pollution. Local representatives, like Congressman Aaron Bean, oppose offshore drilling, emphasizing the importance of preserving beaches and coastal ecosystems that underpin Florida's economy. The 45-day public comment period underscores the ongoing debate over balancing energy development with environmental conservation, with many citizens and officials advocating for the protection of their pristine shores against the potential environmental and economic costs of oil extraction. The South China Morning Post offers a stark critique of America's current foreign policy chaos, focusing on the reckless rhetoric of Defense Secretary Peter Hegseth and Senator Marco Rubio. Their aggressive demands, such as urging Indo-Pacific nations to increase defense spending to 5% of GDP, are dismissed as impractical and dangerous, risking an arms race in a region already tense with China's military expansion. The article underscores the erosion of traditional diplomatic prudence, replaced by a cabinet of loyalists operating without institutional checks, leading to a foreign policy characterized by threats, confusion, and unilateral actions. Trump's presidency, lacking a coherent Asia strategy, is depicted as embodying strategic madness rather than calculated diplomacy, with escalating trade wars, hostile rhetoric, and internal skepticism eroding America's global influence. As the administration's internal fractures deepen, the region faces an uncertain future, caught between American overreach and China's assertiveness, with the overarching concern that the U.S. is accelerating its decline into chaos and irrelevance. Thank you for tuning in. The content above showcases the latest briefing reports and analytical synopses, thoughtfully curated by the 6Do team. These insights stem from a wide array of reputable media outlets, think tanks, government sources, and specialized experts worldwide. We encourage you to explore these sources for a comprehensive perspective. Keep in mind that while the content may not always align with the official standpoint of 6Do Brief, it's not meant to be taken as absolute directives for decision-making. Comprising seasoned media professionals, learned scholars, and accomplished scientists, the 6Do team embodies a trailblazing, fully independent media entity. To customize 6Do Brief to meet your professional needs, you have the option to subscribe to a diverse array of briefings on our website, 6dobrief.com. Regardless of your location, you can conveniently receive 6Do Brief via email.
News breaks, buzz the ground. Stories spin, walls come down. Voices merge in the sound. Faces mix in the crowd. Broadcasters paint the scene. World events on our screen. Every link a different theme. Words collide in the stream. 6 degrees connect the dots. Background stories more than us. Hear the voices rise aloft. Truth unveils in every spot. Cultures clash across the globe. Spin the threads in a strobe. Every story wears a robe. Truth and lies in their code. Journalists dig real deep. Secrets out, they don't sleep. Every angle they will keep. In the news we take a leap. New perspectives day by day. Hidden truths come to play. In the background shades of gray. Every story finds its way.